So I did this video a little earlier. I took it back down. I'm going to put it back up again. But I wanted to redo it because I said something out of order that I wanted to say. So I want to redo it. So that's what I'm here for, okay? But anyhow, as you see here, there's more single women working than ever. And that's changing the U.S. economy. Really? Okay, so more women's changing the economy, huh? Okay. There's more single women in the workforce than ever. And that's having a profound effect on the U.S. economy. Okay, working women contribute to more than $7 trillion to America's economy. By 2030, 45% of working women aged 25 to 44 in the United States will be single. Okay, and this is where I'll stop. Of course, I'll leave the links here for you more. So what they're telling you is by 2030, 45%, almost a half of all American women will be single. Well, I guess TFL will grow some more, won't it? Of course it will. But see, this is social engineering. These articles are exactly that. They're social engineering. This was put out in August of this year. And this is social engineering at its finest. In your face. Now remember, I told you, and I've been screaming this for a long time. NWO, which you want to say is a conspiracy theory. Well, why don't you go visit your conspiracy theory and see it, take pictures of it, and touch it with your own hand? It's called the Georgia Guidestones. Now, you think anybody's going to spend that kind of anybody? Well, first off, I'm going to say this. How many of you people bought a headstone for a grave? Come on. High dollar, isn't it? Yeah. Well, now think about them Georgia Guidestones. They're real. You can go visit it. You can take pictures. You can film it. You can stand next to it, get your picture taken with you standing next to it. That's your real conspiracy theory right in your face. Okay? And NWO is as real as them stones are, is as real as the car you drive is. It's never been a conspiracy theory. It's always been a conspiracy, but not a theory. Anyhow, so to your theory, why don't you go visit your theory? Okay, and wonder how it became a reality. Now let's think about it a moment. What have I been screaming at people? The core of the New World Order. Take an apple, it has a core. The core of the New World Order is the dating arena, is the genders. You go, no, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. Georgia Guidestone spelled it out for you. We want to reduce the population of this world down to this number, and then hold it that number or below, and never allow it to rise above that number again. Well, if you're going to do something like that and you don't want it to rise above that number, then I suppose you'd have to control where babies are born. Anyhow, now, we'll go over here because this is all social engineering. And then we have this one, okay? We have this one here that was also put out, okay, this month, 2019. Okay? You don't have to settle, okay? The joy of living and dying alone. Now follow up, okay? Not long ago I had a discussion with a friend about why she married and ultimately divorced. Someone she knew wasn't right for her, or something she knew wasn't right for her, or someone she knew wasn't right for her. Okay? She said she bought into society's defining message. Okay, society's defining message is what we call social engineering. Okay? So anyhow, society's defining message that being with a man, any man, is better than being alone, and certainly better than dying alone, which is allegedly the worst fate anyone, especially a woman, can suffer. First off, this is where I want to change things a little bit, okay, because I want you to pay attention to this. Okay, that dying alone is the worst fate Okay? Did anyone, especially, see how we put the woman at the top here? Especially a woman. So somehow for a man to be alone is acceptable, huh? Somehow he wouldn't be affected by this, huh? So somehow he's not a human being. So I don't know how you can justify this statement. How can you honestly justify this statement? Okay? Because if you're going to say dying alone, okay, is allegedly the worst fate that can happen to anyone, and then you're going to phrase, especially any woman? Bullshit. Okay? That's never been a gender issue. Humans, regardless of what gender it is in human nature, having companionship, friendship, somebody in their life, companionship is a human need. That's the same as natural law. It is a human need. But men ain't human, ain't that right? Why don't you just kill us when we're born? Since you hate men so much, why don't you go ahead and just kill every baby boy as they're born nowadays? That's right. And if you can do an ultrasound and see it's a boy, terminate the pregnancy. That's right. But if it's a girl, go ahead and let it go, okay? Because this is the only human. Now you see the male bashing that's going on with that statement because there is no especially. Then we'll go on. When I told her that I had never feared dying alone, and the fact that having sometimes feared the opposite, she told me I was incredibly lucky. So she feared the opposite. She feared of dying when she had somebody in her life. That's right. Okay? So she was incredibly lucky because that's meant I wouldn't end up having to settle for a life that doesn't actually make me happy, even if society tells me it's supposed to. No, society broke down the relationships between people and how people treat one another. Society took care out of society with social engineering. Society replaced it with selfishness and self-entitled and selfishness and self-entitled. That's what happened, okay? And people don't know what they're doing. They break down all the foundations of a relationship. They sure did. They twisted them, manipulated them, flipped them upside down on their heads. Anyhow, we'll go on here, okay? Apparently, I'm not alone. Pun intended. Data confirms that more women have begun to realize that there are far worse things than dying alone, which is great news for the women, but bad news for the patriarchy. Okay, no, it's great news for the NWO because this is a social engineering article. This is to help change your perception, your mindset, to furtherly divide the genders. That's right. Through dividing the genders, there's less births. Through GMO foods, there's less births. Through Big Pharma, there's less births, and I could go on and on with this. Okay, but I love this part the best. You guys should love this. Broke men are hurting women's marriages. The ATM. The person who's not a human, that's why it's especially women. Because men don't have feelings, emotions, wants. And this is why, see, men can die alone because it don't affect men. Men can be alone their whole life and it don't affect men. Okay? I don't know how the woman had pregnancy to give birth to a baby boy anyhow. The only thing I can think of is she must have been going to bed with E.T., going to bed with a swamp beast, a gorilla. Because she sure couldn't have been gotten pregnant by another human being. Because that would mean the guy was a human being. But the last time I checked the DNA in any born baby that's born around the world, it has the dad's DNA and the mother's DNA. It's just as human as both. It's born with feelings, emotions, wants, and needs, just like everybody else. So you see how they're clearly dividing people here? And look what they did to men again. Broke men are hurting women. You mean in a world where women are in the workplace and in a world where there'll be more women working than ever? Hold on, in a world where more women are working than ever, the broke men are hurting the women? Oh, they sort of contradict themselves, don't they? Yeah. See, so we won't go any further, but I will put these links in the more for you. And I will remind you, this is social engineering. This is what I've been screaming at you for a long time. See, really what they're doing here is they're promoting the idea, the perception, that being alone is much better for you. That it hurts women more than it does men to be alone. But women are now realizing they can finally be alone. Because men don't get hurt by being alone because men, well, they're not human. They don't have emotions, feelings, wants, or needs. Because everything's about one gender and one gender only. That's right. 30 years of male bashing, and here we are some more, right? Of course we are. Because it was never an accident. It goes back to the core of NWO. The core. The dating scene. Divide and conquer. Population reduction, Georgia Guidestones. It all goes back to that. And here, what are we doing in the manosphere? We're all throwing each other underneath the bus and continuing on with the female smashing and promoting the robots. You might as well be promoting this. To you MGTOWers that are pushing the robots. You might just well be promoting this. You're not promoting seeing through the BS and the social engineering of society to recognize that this right here, society's defining message, to recognize social engineering is nothing more than brainwashing the society and changing their perceptions. They've been doing that successfully for decades and decades now, forever. Okay, that's why we're in the shape we are. Recognizing the real truth. And stopping the behaviors that lead to where we're at. But I digress. I won't say any more. I've showed you what I needed to show you. So there's more social engineering right in your face, and I want to thank Harry over in the United Kingdom for sending me these links. And with that being said, I'm out of here.